Reverend Logan, would you please lead us?
Sure. Well, let's bow together for a word of prayer. Most gracious Father, we thank you, Lord, once again. Here it has been a total month that we sat in this room and talked to one another, keeping you first and foremost in all that we do. And thank you for our city officials that are here tonight, the planning group, and we thank you for our mayor, we thank you for the city council, we thank you for the city government, we thank you for the President of the United States. We thank you for all that is going on in this world, Father God, because all things fall under you. So we ask you to continue to bless us, bless our president that's taking charge. We thank you for blessing and leading her and guiding her in the way that we should do and go for the best for our community, for the totality of Denton also, and then also definitely for Southeast Denton. In the name of Jesus, we pray, we ask it all, we say together, amen.
Okay, first of all, I want to apologize to everybody, because last month was Black History Month. And I don't know if everybody saw it, but they did have Quaker Town. But I think this one in America on Channel 8 that one morning.
Yeah.
Okay, and they showed a good portion of it, and it was real good.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, they did. They really did.
Amen.
You didn't see it, Mr. Clark?
No, I didn't know. I just, she asked me, did
It was on there, the Logan, I think you, did you see Reverend Logan?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. WFAA.
Yeah, WFA, yeah, it was on there. Yeah.
Yes,
And I forgot to mention that to everybody last month.
No, that's all right.
Okay, is anybody here from the police department?
I don't see nobody from nowhere.
Code enforcement?
Code enforcement. All right.
How are y'all doing?
All right, very good.
I just wanted to share some information with you. We're coming into busy season with everything growing so quickly. Some things that we typically look for, some possible violations and the life cycle of how a case is getting worked. So these are for everybody. Thank you. If we see a violation, the first thing that we do is we're gonna call you to let you know that there's an issue. If we can't find your number, we're gonna go ahead and leave you a door hanger. That does not mean that you're getting a citation. That doesn't mean that we're giving you a ticket. That just means there's an issue and we're gonna let you know how it can be fixed and how it can be addressed. From there, there's a 7-day period. After that 7-day period, we're gonna go back out to your property and we're going to see if it's been fixed. If it has not been fixed, then that's when we send y'all a letter. That's still not a citation, it's still not a ticket, it's just a warning to let you know, hey, there's an issue, let's talk about it, let's get it fixed. We really don't have a lot of recourse as far as tickets go or citations go. In Southeast Denton, I prefer to have a conversation with you and to let you know there's an issue. That way you can say, Christina, I can't do this right now. Then I can say, okay, well, let's work together to get the problem solved. I'd much rather work with you in that manner than in a punitive manner. And, you know, because at the end of the day, this box here, what that says is that we can take you to court, we can do all the things. I'd rather have you tell me that this is what I can do. Can you work with me? Half of the cases that I re-inspect, I'm extending out because people, for one reason or other, whether it's health or finance or whatever the case may be, they can't get things taken care of in 7 to 10 business days or 17 calendar days. And that's acceptable. We do have officer discretion, so I like to exercise that as much as possible. Because if I'm gonna expect you guys to work with me, I have to give that back to you. So, that's where, and then if I don't hear anything back from y'all, I do have to put a 24-hour notice. That's still not anything where you're getting taken to court or where there's anything like that. That's gonna have my card stapled to the bottom of it, and where I'm asking you, please call me so we can figure this out. But again, punitive action is kind of few and far between. Most of the time, the residents of Southeast Denton are always willing to call me and go, I can't do this. I need help. Because we do have programs available that if you're like, I can't afford to fix this fence, can you work with me? We do have the resources, some resources available to assist the community in getting things done. There are contributing factors to get approved for that, such as age and income, but we have a really good team that can help, and there's a couple outreach teams for church and stuff like that that are always willing to help. So if you just voice to me that you're having an issue, I will definitely help you the best I can. Okay? This is gonna be typical issues that we look for. And like I said, it's grass season coming up. So grass height, we like it to be 12 and under. 12 inches of grass is pretty high. And really, it's a trip hazard, it's a fall hazard, snakes, bugs, rodents, all of the above. We're in Texas, and so we get a lot of the critters that hide out in the grass. So if there's something that, again, if there's something that can't be abated, like a lot of people don't own a lawnmower, and they're certainly not gonna hire somebody to come in and do their grass, because grass companies are expensive and it's hard to get somebody to come out when it's busy grass season, let me know, because that's a big one. We have a lot of greenery in this area, and it grows really quickly this time of year. We do observe the no-mow from, I think it's May to June is when everything gets cut down by June. So we have the wildflower seasons and stuff like that. Fence maintenance is a big one. Trash and recycling containers. If you have a pickup that needs to be scheduled, I believe you get 2 from the city. Like bulk pickup days, you have to call them in. Placing stuff at the curb will not get it picked up. So you have to physically call it in and go, I have a pickup that needs to be done, and they'll come out and do it for you. Other than that, it'll sit out. Parking, it has to be, like, I see a lot of vehicles parked on grass and dirt. It has to be parked on a paved surface. If you're parking in the dirt, you can put gravel down or what have you, or park it on the street or park it on a driveway, but grass and dirt for erosion control and stuff like that, we like to see them parked on what's considered an improved surface. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. Outside storage, if you've got anything like mowers or anything like that, if you place them in the back of your property or in a garage or on the side yard, if you just ask that it's kept in an orderly fashion, ladders and stuff like that. Barbecuers are okay, smokers are okay, that kind of stuff. As long as it's orderly and not all over your yard, I'm okay with that, and that's pretty easy to deal with. There's a lot of inoperable vehicles on flats. I'm not gonna ask you to prove your vehicle's running. If you tell me, no, this vehicle runs, if it's not on flat tires, the windows aren't broken out, stuff like that, I'm gonna take your word that it is an operable vehicle. We used to be able to ask you to start it. I feel like that's a little bit of a reach. So if you're telling me, Christine, this runs and it moves, there's no chopped tires and stuff like that, then that's acceptable for us. And then they just don't want you to have any temporary carports, like the metal ones or like the plastic ones or anything like that, like the little tent ones. Those are unacceptable. No tarps. Tarps are a big one too, covering items. Is there any questions?
Yes. I just have a question. When you were naming like the extension and the help and all that, has that always been available? Because I could be wrong, but I think that's the first time I've heard. Like you get an extension or if you need help with something.
So if you do need help, the city does offer, the city does have limited funding, but they do have programs like a help available for people that meet the qualifications for age and income. That's been available, I think it varies from year to year, but it is available.
Okay, that's the first I've heard it.
Yeah. There's also a church that we work with, and then I believe it's the United Way where that works for homes. They're right there on East McKinney. Right. They've helped a couple of my residents out this year. Sweat team, the church team, they're very responsive when I ask them for help.
What church?
That I'm not sure of, but I can find out. But yeah, they're very helpful. Yes. Any questions? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
She was talking about snakes, and I'm one person that is very afraid of snakes.
Yes.
I've let them have my house. But I found out something that you can use at your home. Garlic powder, onion powder, pine salt, and spray that around your home. And it'll keep snakes, bugs, anything away from your house. And believe me, I went and got a whole bunch of it. 'Cause I am serious. So I just thought I would share that with you guys.
Thank you.
Pine salt, even garlic powder, onion powder. And it'll even keep rats away from your home.
Do we have anybody from Park and Recreation? Okay, Miss Julie.
Hi, I'm Julie Wyatt. I don't really have anything planned, but I can talk about what's going on with the Southeast Denton area plan. So, as you may know, that we adopted the plan last August, and we have some implementation items that we're working through that the plan calls for. A couple of those that we've been working on recently are some economic development tools, and I think Mia talked to you last month about those, as well as a live work overlay, trying to introduce some more of those commercial uses or appropriate commercial uses within Southeast Denton. Another thing that we're working on, we heard from the community when we were doing the public engagement is that protection of the residential areas and protection of the character of the residential areas of Southeast Denton. And so as part of the plan, we are working on a residential overlay to make sure that if there were any new homes, any new development happened within Southeast Denton, that it was consistent with the character of what's existing, make sure we protect that asset of Southeast Denton. So that we had a block party. I think some of y'all went. It was a lot of fun last week. That at Fred Moore Park. We had an amazing turnout. We had great weather except for the wind, but it worked out okay. We had a really nice time. We just appreciate everybody in the community coming out. And as part of the area plans, we talked to the community about those economic development items as well as the residential overlay. So we've got that information that we got from the community, and we're taking it back to our office. We're going to be analyzing it, and we'll be coming back in the upcoming months to talk to y'all about what we heard and how we think we can structure those overlays so that it achieves what the community wants. So that's really what we're working on right now. Also with the area plan, it talked about block parties within Southeast Denton and really getting the community to start throwing block parties. So that's kind of how we started with the block party. Hopefully we got some good names there of people that we can work with to make sure that those community gatherings keep going throughout the year. So that's really all I have, unless anybody has any questions. Yes, ma'am.
Could you please tell me what in the world those two buildings on the corner of McKinney Street and Wood Street?
So that is a part, so the overlay, and really that's why so they're single family residential, and they meet our current standards for residential development in Denton overall. So we have standards for Denton overall.
You're not talking, we can't be talking about the same two buildings.
We are.
They are.
Yeah.
How can someone live, I'm talking about, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I drove past it on the way here.
McKinney and Wood.
Yes, so those.
South Wood.
Yeah. It's the same thing that they built back.
I know,
Yeah.
I know that one, but what's the other one? It's not a
They're both
store.
single family residential, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Now, my next question to you, I know y'all put whatever y'all want to, but you still doing the dot. I thought that dot thing was complete. You started at the block party again with the dot. Then you say y'all accepting what people want over here. What are y'all doing down Sycamore Street? Coming east, Sycamore.
So Sycamore, and I should have brought a map. So the residential overlay, Sycamore Street, kind of where Trinity Industries used to be in the multifamily. The residential overlay is actually going to be does not include Sycamore Street. So next time I'll bring the map, or I can bring a map to you and show you where the residential overlay is gonna go. So those items we're working on right now aren't centered on Sycamore. They're gonna be more in those residential areas, so those existing neighborhoods. And those houses that you talked about on Wood Street, so those meet our residential standards in the city of Denton. So the maximum building height for residential areas in residential zoning in Denton is 40 feet tall, which can be a pretty tall building.
When did that start?
That's been that for years, and that's citywide, so that is citywide.
Yeah.
But what we've heard from the community, and what we've done with our surveying of our residential areas in Southeast Denton, is that may not be the building heights that the community wants.
No.
And so,
Yeah,
so-
my backyard.
Who voted, who was in the resident to do that? Cause sadly, then, we
It's
don't
not
know.
no resident outside.
But if it's in the book, it just wasn't built in this neighborhood, but it's always been on the books. Nobody just wanted to do it, and now you have people coming in who are actually using what's allowed, which is the 40 feet.
Okay.
It's just been in the books for years.
Okay, let me ask you this, while they are doing that, are y'all rezoning all of Sunset, areas of then? Because y'all are doing things, like you said there, right there, y'all are doing put stuff over here, and then when it get here, it pops up.
No, yeah.
there's no rezoning proposed for Southeast Denton as part of the plan. The zoning piece, so most of Southeast Denton is zoned single-family residential. And that's really those residential areas. But our single-family residential development standards citywide allow for building heights of 40 feet and certain design elements. What we heard from the community with the area plan is that Southeast Denton wanted to better control the type of residential development that was coming into Southeast Denton. So the residential overlay would not change that base zoning. It's still primarily single-family residential. What it's gonna do is put regulations on top of that, so that any development that comes in Southeast Denton would have to take on the building scale, form, and characteristics for what we see in Southeast Denton now. So we talked to the community last week about things like front porches. Do you want to see front porches on the homes? Do you want to see, what types of roof lines do you want to see? Do you want to see the shed roofs, or would you want to see more gable roofs or hipped roofs? So those are the kind of things that we talked to the community about last week. You are correct, in that we did a dot exercise with the area plan. What we wanted to do with this most recent one is confirm what we heard and then drill down a little bit on the details to say, okay, we know that you want to keep the character, but what does that really mean to the community, and what kinds of things would you like to see? So that's what we did last week, to try to get more detailed information from the community. So when we write that overlay, it will reflect what the community wants to see.
Well, was there a community from like this area and the people what at home is built? Did y'all get any consent from them on that street, like on Bush Street and Rudale?
Well, when we have regulations, so our zoning regulations really apply to all properties within the city. So if someone is building a home within the city of Denton, they really just have to meet those overall development standards, like former Commissioner McDay said, because he was on the Planning and Zoning Commission for a long time, so this is old news for him. But so any development, any house built in the city of Denton, whether it's in Southeast Denton or another part of the community, would have to follow those standards. What residents and in Southeast Denton let us know during the area planning is, that's great, fine, we've got those residential standards, but we want to better control what comes here. And that's why we need additional standards to make sure that anything developed here. So that's why it's really critical that we move forward with this residential overlay.
Okay.
So the overlay is not going to affect what's already a standard for the city.
No, sir, it would just be specific to Southeast Denton. It's the Southeast Denton residential overlay, so it wouldn't affect other parts of the city.
No, I'm talking about the overlay. If we say we didn't want 40-foot building, there's already, I gotta go look at this building you're talking about.
It's scary. It's scary when you're driving at night. It's scary.
So I have a question.
From here.
But my issue, I mean,
Go to my yard, you see that.
Okay.
if that 40 feet is on the books,
Yeah.
and we don't want it, then we need to stop selling our property to any and everybody.
Thank you.
Because if it's my property, I know what I want on there. When you sell it to somebody who doesn't live in this neighborhood, they have a right to go by the guidelines of what's allowed on that property. That's why you're getting the houses that don't look like the neighborhood. So,
That house.
so I mean, my question is, who are we to blame? Do we blame them for following the guidelines? Or do we blame ourselves for not selling and keeping the property or selling it to anybody who throws a check in our check? That's the issue right
And
there.
that's
I don't
true,
blame
but we
anyone.
No.
I'm just asking a question.
Yeah.
Let's just answer this one question. You know, sometimes maybe I didn't sleep well. If we say in the overlay, when you come and ask us that we don't want that, that will not prevent anything that's already authorized before the city standards. Yes or no? It will not.
So,
Okay, hold on, let me make, so anything existing, yes, that thing, whatever's existing can remain under, if the overlay says, look, we want to restrict the heights to no more than 2 stories or no more than 25 feet, whatever that number ends up being.
Right.
Anything that would be existing greater than that height could remain.
Yes.
But nothing new could be built that would exceed that height.
But how new is this building you're talking about? How new is it?
Oh,
It's
still
under
being built.
construction.
It's still being built.
It's what?
It's still being built.
now you say
So
you
so it
could,
was requested, the building permit was requested when? We don't know.
It's scary.
In the last year, that building
Last year?
permit was approved, and I mean, it meets all
I got that.
standards.
I got that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Y'all know
Go
it.
ahead.
now, just to go by what you said, Julie, you said could. Is that a guarantee that it's gonna stay that way, or could it stay that way? Which means it could, but then it could change as well.
Okay, in terms of the building heights for
Yes.
residential, so under current regulations, in all residential zoning, a structure could be built, or a house could be built up to 40 feet tall, which is pretty, you know, that's, and that's citywide. We've heard from the community concerns about building heights, so I would anticipate that the residential overlay will include limits to building heights in Southeast Denton to keep them more consistent with what's here. So once that overlay is adopted, any property within that overlay would have to conform to those regulations. So whatever maximum height that's included in that, no building could be built above that height. Does that make,
The key word is adopted. That's the key word.
Right.
Okay, I got
Yeah,
that.
and it's a real priority for the city because we've heard from the community a really big part of it was to protect the neighborhoods. And so that's why we're starting with this. We want to keep this, we want to get moving on this one. So stay tuned, it's coming.
Now, also to piggyback off for you and Mr. McDade, you're talking about people, we just need to keep our homes and not sell them. But the thing about it is a lot of people in Southeast Denton are on fixed incomes. When you switch it over to commercial, the rates are going to increase, so the taxes are going to increase. So some people on fixed income are not going to be able to pay those taxes. So then now we come in with investors buying us out, or either it's gonna foreclose or gonna be put a lien on, and we lose that.
Right.
What are y'all going to do to prevent that?
Well, as part of the area plan, and particularly in our residential areas, so as I said, the majority of Southeast Denton is zoned for single-family residential development. There are no plans to rezone areas that are zoned single-family residential to any other district, commercial, or introduce any commercial uses as far as those residential districts. There is, as part of the plan, a live work overlay that Mia's working on to allow some more home-based businesses, or where people could have maybe an office within their home, or daycare, some other type of commercial use. So there will be that as part of the plan, but there's no rezoning of any residential property to a commercial zoning district.
Right, but when you put it as a business, it's gonna increase the value on the area, so that still means the taxes are going to go up.
Residences aren't taxed at the
Yes.
same rate as
Right.
Residents what?
so the residents wouldn't be facing the same tax rates as business, so that would be so.
I thought it said the property tax will go up. I mean, property tax on a mixed use area versus a residential area. Right,
Your,
right now, I think it's
your
60
property would have to be comparable.
I think it's 60 cents per $100.
It's kind of like, it's kind of like when you get your appraisal done. They
So if
want-
it's $10,000 assessed value,
your
it's 60 cents
house
per
is like a
100.
3-bedroom against a 5-bedroom.
And I don't know how the appraisal district assesses the values.
I think that's
That might
important,
be
though.
something that we could connect and maybe have them come talk. Because
Yeah.
I don't really quite know how they figure their property taxes, but we could certainly see if we can coordinate.
I mean, I think it's very important to have someone come in and tell how they assess it, because like I said, from my understanding, it's 60 cents per $100 valued assessment of the property. So if your property is valued at $10,000, you're paying 60 cents per 100, so it'd be what, $60, $600? It's 60 property tax. But if it's rezoned to mixed use or whatever you guys are trying to overlay, then it's going to increase that property, the value assessment of that property, which is going to increase the property tax.
Yeah, once again, I don't know how they value the property based upon, I don't even know what they look at in terms of zoning, or if it's the use on the property. That is just information I don't know.
I think it's really important for you to know that if you're coming here advocating for it, though.
Exactly.
Well, and we're still reaching out to the community about, the live work overlay was something that was part of the plan. We're still looking to see how it's going to be structured.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be coming back with you with future recommendations. None of it will change that underlying zoning, however. So it's not gonna change. If your property is zoned R4, it would stay R4, which is a single family residential zoning district. It's not intended to change that underlying zoning.
Have you seen those houses that they're building there on Wood and McKinney Street?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Jay, Joe, that was your.
Well, and that is why they do meet the residential standards in Denton, but that's really why I think this residential overlay that we're talking to the community about is going to be really vital for Southeast Denton. So especially to make sure that any new development fits with the character of the community and that.
They do not fit with the character.
Well, so anything going forward, when the residential overlay is adopted, the regulations would then be in place at that time. And at that time, anything new going forward would have to comply with that residential overlay. Right now, there's not a residential overlay, so the zoning and the development standards in Southeast Denton really are consistent with what we have citywide. So that the plan, anything built here could be built on any other neighborhood in the community. What we heard from residents is that you want to protect what's here, and that's really getting any new development or any new homes to be.
So the key to that, when does it go into planning and zoning?
Well, so I think we've got some good data, we've got some really good feedback. We're going to be writing that up. We'll probably be presenting that information to this group, hopefully, next month or maybe the month after. And then it's gonna be going to public hearing, this summer is what we're shooting for.
I think Matt got a question.
Yeah, it's been forever since I've jumped into the code, but I guess from what I'm hearing, I think the end result question would be, is there anything in Denton code that would prevent somebody from building a 44-foot single-family residence and then renting out floors or whatever to boarders, kind of as a backdoor SRO? Do we have anything like that on the books?
40 feet.
Or just a large, you know what I'm saying, just building a large out-of-character house and not calling it an apartment, but then, saying, I've got 2 rooms for rent. And is there anything that would stop that practice? Because that's a backdoor way in to fit, the requirements, but that would change the character of the neighborhood.
We don't have a, kind of how it's either owned or for rent. That is not something that the Denton Development Code really deals with. So yes, when somebody builds a home, it must meet all of the technical requirements for being a dwelling. So it's got to have a kitchen and bathroom and then a place to sleep and a place to live. So it really has to have those elements. If it's a single family home, it can really only have that one kitchen, and then it's got to be designed as a single family home. There's nothing in the Denton Development Code that would really prevent us from whether somebody is going to own the property or lease, owner occupied or for rent. We do have a provision that no more than 4 unrelated persons should be within a dwelling, but other than that, we really don't have any regulations as to how that, the living arrangements within that dwelling.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Well, sort of, because I remember like years ago we talked about, there was a discussion about SROs kind of expanding beyond the universities, which was driving up rental properties. And I don't remember if that hit a wall or if it ever progressed beyond an initial proposal on how to handle the SROs, which for anybody who doesn't know, it's when you have an apartment and then you rent it to 2 separate people under 2 separate leases, thereby making $1,000 a month apartment, $1,400 and blah, blah. And those kind of proliferated around UNT for a bit. I know it was on the books to address it. I don't remember whatever happened.
It really, because that is a leasing arrangement, it really, if something's designed as multifamily, our development code treats it as multifamily. As single family, it's treated as single family. A duplex, treated as duplex. We don't have a separate use category for that sort of leasing structure. Okay. But you're right, it was talked about quite a bit a few years ago.
Okay.
Hey, Julie, I have a quick question, and it's just so you can update everyone. There's 2 properties here in Southeast Denton. I'm looking at the cement company and Marcy Millen. Could you remind us of what that's zoned, and then let them know? I remember, I think it's MN, I can't remember. If it is, tell them, hey, what can be built on that property if they ever decide to lease. I know the city's been trying to get rid of that cement company, trying to move it for a while.
Yeah, I don't know if that's moved anywhere, but I can't say Morrison Milling. I don't know that one, but I know the cement company. So the property is on Prairie, and it's the batch plant. Y'all are probably familiar with it. It's zoned to MN, which is mixed use neighborhood, and that is it does allow a multifamily as well as a variety of other residential uses, fourplexes, townhomes, duplexes, and commercial uses. MN is intended to be kind of those districts that creates more walkable environments. So it doesn't allow things like drive-through restaurants by right, but it would allow like a restaurant by right. So that's really, that's the zoning of that.
Okay, yeah.
Morrison Milling, I don't know.
The Trinity Steel was MN also, correct? And that's how we got the rail yard apartment, that was MN?
No, that's actually, that was, it is MN now, but the zoning for the rail yard apartments was actually industrial until 2002. And in 2002, it was it, as part of a citywide rezoning effort, was changed to, a downtown type zoning. That allowed the multifamily. So that apartment zoning has been in place for that amount of time.
All right, thank you, Ms. Julie.
Thank you.
Okay, we have Clara's Kitchen is here. Y'all want to come up and say anything?
No, I had just a couple
Oh,
of
for her?
questions for Julie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Julie, the question is, the ones that are in now, are they gonna be grandfathered? When this new area plan come in, are they gonna be grandfathered, or are they gonna have to switch to the new plan?
No zoning, as I said, residential or existing zoning, there's no intent to change that base zoning of the property. So that would not change that base zoning.
Okay.
I don't quite know how that lit work is gonna be structured at this time. We're taking that data back and we're gonna look at it to make sure that we wanna get it right. So we'll be coming back to the community, probably on more than one occasion, so that we make sure we get it right.
So I recall council voted to make changes in Southeast Denton, but the changes they made, wanted to see were sidewalks, new paved streets, and all of that. So this new area plan, why is it being focused in Southeast Denton and not somewhere else?
Do you want me to get back up there?
We got time, no one else, Cynthia's coming after you.
So I believe it was in 2022, I think it was the summer of 2022, our comprehensive plan, which is our big policy document, planning document for the whole city, talked about that we needed to have area plans for specific parts of the city, and that we should prioritize those area plans. So as part of that, there was a list of areas that, hey, where do we want to have these area plans? That list, we took that list to city council, and city council prioritized that list. Because of some of the developments that had been going on near Southeast Denton, council thought it was very important to prioritize Southeast Denton, to make sure that we heard from the community, that we had a good plan for the future and going forward, to make sure we protect those places that we wanted to protect, and have a good, strong vision of the future. So Southeast Denton there were 3 plans that council prioritized: Southeast Denton, Northeast Denton, and downtown. The Northeast Denton plan kicked off first. It hasn't moved forward at this time, but that was one plan that had quite a bit of work on it. Southeast Denton kicked off next, and then the downtown plan kicked off last. So the downtown plan and Southeast Denton area plans have been adopted. Right now, we don't have any plans to move forward with new area plans because we want to get as many of those implementation action items accomplished as possible before we start looking at other parts of the city. But we have, we think about all parts of the city and what kind of corridor plans and area plans we'd like to do. Right now, we just want to make sure that we work with the Southeast Denton residents and stakeholders and get this area plan implemented before we move on. Does that answer your question?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, since we don't have anyone else, I'm gonna want Cynthia Cochran to come up here. Parks and Recreation is not here, but Cynthia did a paper for, I'll let her come up here and say about the baseball field.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I was just wanting to give everyone an update. When Park and Recreation was here, they wanted to submit our Fred Moore softball field in a name that was called Gonzalez. And he's supposed to have been a referee or whatever. But the reason why I'm stepping in is because when they come to Southeast Denton, seem like they always come over here. I always want to take things from the black community. And when they do come up here with it's already been voted on. Anything that's happening in Southeast, then I don't care if it's from the restaurant, parks, whatever. It's always when they get here, it's like, we come to see what do y'all think about it. And so I had made a suggestion to say that we kind of tired of y'all coming up here, bringing information to us like, what do we think about it? It's already done. It's done before y'all even leave where y'all coming from, and y'all coming to Southeast to tell us what y'all have done. It's not that I vote. So I just want to really basically speak on the softball part that they want a name behind a referee that's named Gonzalez, and I asked him to go to some other part to put Gonzalez there. So my idea was I came up with Luther Warner's name that we want to submit the softball part to be named in honor of Luther Warner because of what Luther did with his softball team. And Lily you've been on the team forever. And Luther brought so much entertainment to Dixon. Even when I was young, I thought the way I could come sneak out the house. Well, Luther got the softball team there now. Well, I'm considering, and I talked to most of the people in Southeast Denny, so I've already submitted this up to the secretary and the city. So it's gonna go through the mayor and city councilman or whatever. But I wanted to give everybody in here that we can spread the room around. I have it all written up. They do have it up there. So our suggestion is, if anybody that we want to be named that softball park after, for bringing a lot of us together, Luther Ball. We enjoyed the softball team with the females. He did so much, they had so many sponsors, blah, blah, blah. Luther did a lot. So instead of Gonzalez, we want Luther Warner name to go down. They said I don't need to get the votes yet, do it as an organization. So I did it as Southeast Denny organization, setting. So I want to just let everybody know that we tired of them that want to come over and take and snatch everything from us. Just, that's not the way to grow. But go somewhere else and look. It's like every time you come over here, something is wrong. This ain't right. This is zoning. They don't need to cook. They don't need to go to the water part I'm still on the sprinkler, but they did upgrade the part for us. I appreciate it. So anyway, I just want to let everyone know I do have some papers I can pass out. So would y'all please help us in consideration in it if we do have to do voting. The churches have already told me to bring paperwork down and let them sign if we got to vote. But it's already, I have submitted this at the city. And so it should be coming up shortly. So I want to give everybody, let y'all know what's going on.
Isn't it not called Fredmore Park now?
Right.
Well, I mean,
It's the softball. It's the softball field that they want to name it after Gonzalez.
Okay. Now I could be wrong, but that's not what I thought I heard him say the Juneteenth softball tournament was going to be named. Not changing of the park. They were saying it's going to be
softball.
No, softball.
They
tournament.
wanted to name the softball part where we've been having it for years. They aren't do it today. It's the softball part they want to give a name to.
Okay.
And they said Gonzalez, and he was a referee.
But no, see, the Gonzalez, it's John Royster is the name that they brought up. I don't know who the Gonzalez. John Royster, he was a member of St. Emmanuel. He was a.
Is his last name Gonzalez?
It's two different things.
But they called his name was Gonzalez.
No, it's a different guy. The last time that they came to speak, that they spoke about changing the tournament name after the one you're talking about.
Oh, you got it.
They are talking about changing the name of the field to Gonzalez?
I didn't. I'll go back and check the video. I didn't see them talk about
Okay, well
changing the
anyway,
name.
we still want
It
to
was the name of
submit
the
Luther
tournament.
Warner name over at the softball park. This is what. So I was gonna let everybody, Manu, did you have a question?
So that was the question, what's the name of the field now?
Okay.
Fred Moore, right?
Yeah, they still Fred, well, they been trying to take us from Fred Moore Park, they been trying to
No, I'm
take
talking the field, it's still
So
Fred
they
Moore
want to
field.
send us to Quaker Town for what? Y'all done
Right.
run all our ancestors and killed them and took everything. Why y'all want to take our park now and send us over there? You get it?
Okay.
That's
Yeah, we
been
got a
tried.
right figure, we don't need to cut you off.
All right.
You
say we need to get a worksheet?
Well, we gonna do that next.
Yes, too.
Come on,
Okay, I'm just, pressing this, so yeah.
Y'all got it. Got it, Captain.
What's that?
Everything is there.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. It's pretty up till
Okay, y'all. I got another young man that have a business here in Denton. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Another young man that have his own business here in Denton named Robert Wright, and he's coming, he's gonna speak to y'all, to everyone.
Well, the reason I came here, I talked to a lot of people. I'm born and raised in Denton. I'm a Flow baby. I grew up here in this community. And I talked to a lot of people recently that they wanted to do something in the park to honor our black activists and people in our community that are doing this. So it's a lot of changes that have been taking place, but it's a lot of people that didn't. When I'm looking at this room, a lot of people that's done a lot of work. So that's just the game plan. I was hoping to call the event Southeast Denton Community Fest. Date was looking at June 7th from 12 to 10, free open to the public. Activities, basketball competition, could be baseball, whatever. But it's an award ceremony, music performance, food trucks and vendors, and community engagements. So the purpose of the event is to celebrate the rich history of the Southeast Denton community by recognizing the achievements of black activists and business owners in the community, the Fred Moore alumni, and their contributions in the history of Southeast Denton and the lasting impact in the city. And also those, like a little memorial for Flow Memorial, people that was born at that hospital. So mainly it's just really trying to get back to the community and just people that here, that come to these meetings and things like that to say that y'all are not wasting your time. I know it's the next generation that should be stepping up, but we want to make sure to try to honor those. So that's a couple of names. This goes from, it should be way more than this, but even though Mr. Willie Husband, even some Resident Logan, they're together coalition, Officer Shante. There's a lot of people on here, Harold Jensen, even giving DJ Spinmore his flowers. There's some other people, and it can continue to go year after year. But it's just something to get going. As a community just start to change a little bit. I go outside, I see it. It ain't the same community that I've seen, but it's okay. But we still are here to support it. And so that's what I want to do. So I have a couple of people that said they're willing to come out from Head Start, Texas Workforce, a couple of food trucks. DHP, like I said, us as a community just want to see something for us. What I was here for was just trying to see if I could get the community's support on it. They're willing to. I've already kind of talked with the Department of Recreation, trying to get things going. Trying to go put a deposit, but they said since it's a community event, they said the city might be able to just say, since we're honoring people that do these activities, that they may be able to take care of it. Either way we want to do it, so.
Good.
Who's the sponsors again, brother? I didn't catch you.
Right now, so it's supposed to be Head Start, Texas Workforce, of course, my business, Trendsetters, and I have some other people that come out, like the food trucks, Chubb's Buds, what's that, Ruby Chicken and Waffles, and some other people that said they come on, and I'm sure we're gonna have this. So, but it's, again, just getting the wheels going, so.
If you wanted to participate in it, how, I know like in the events over there in the Civic Center Park, you have to apply in advance. How far in advance do you have to? I mean, like if you want to get a spot or set up a booth or something, how far in advance would we have to?
Since it's an open community thing, it's making sure the city gets their permits. That's what all we're looking for.
Just make,
The city gets their permits,
okay.
so basically covering the Claire's Kitchen is gonna be out there, and they have the permit from the city. I know we can have a limit as far as how many people, but I know like you, Sugar, you know, these
Right.
people, they are part of our Southeast community and should be able to come out there, you know, so. We won't say it's open invitation to any and everybody, because they're not taking advantage of the opportunity, but more so just let them see the faces of people that are active in this community, so.
Where you see it's gonna be at?
June 7th. I still have to go ahead and get the seal of approval from them. They kind of penciled it so far, but I want to go ahead and move forward with it. So we got like the insurance and all this stuff that's needed. And putting together a whole proposal as far as like the security, waste management, making sure porta potties and things like that around there. But I'll just say this.
Thank you.
I'm from this community, born and raised. I see a lot of people doing a lot of things. I see you guys here as activists. I'm just trying to, I mean, a short word, take from this community, to also be a part of it, so. And all these, little these ladies, they came to my mom.
This is Wanda Donald's son. Wanda Donald's son. If anybody don't know,
You said
we got some kiddos of McDay, Sarah McDay, Wanda Donald, this is her son. Okay? Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Hey, I got one question.
Every month. Six to seven. Come back.
Yeah, two
I got one more question.
I just wanted to, real quick,
I got questions for you.
it's actually not a question. I just really wanted to, real quick, go back and clarify what Parks talked about. They talked about renaming the tournament after a referee. So that was one thing. The thing that they were talking about renaming for the gentleman, I think his name was Rodriguez, is actually not this park. They were mentioning that it was going to be that site where the day laborers hang out on Fort Worth Drive. That was going to be named after him. So as far as Ms. Cochran's application to rename the park, there shouldn't be any conflicts or anything on that. So that would be a separate thing from things that we discussed last time. They weren't renaming the park; it was just the tournament and also the day laborer site.
Right.
I got a question for you, man.
Thank you.
Donations or anything like that, how do we reach out to you to help out or anything? I mean, is there like a site to go on that you have right now that you kind of looking?
This is our first proposal, presenting it to you guys first.
Okay.
Before we want to do with the city, I've already got like I said, the dates, verified that the dates are open.
Okay. I know you said you mentioned awards and all that other stuff, so I know you need income and stuff for plaques and all that, so I was trying to see if you wanted
And that part comes from
pertaining
sponsors and
donations.
stuff like that.
Say it again?
Yeah, that's where it comes from, the sponsors.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But it's a line.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
run through everything.
Yeah, no, but I can see numbers for me. Yeah. Right on.
Is that it? Is that everybody? Anybody else have anything? Okay, well then thank everybody for coming, and I'll see y'all next month, the fourth Monday. I did contact Habitat, but nobody never showed up. But we will, the fourth Monday of every month. If you want to talk, get in touch with me beforehand so I can put you down.
All right.
Every fourth Monday. Thank you.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you.